Shazam, the Fury of the Gods. Well, not exactly fury of gods, but mostly the fury of a god. And it's the icon once again, and we're back with a DC movie review for you, going over Shazam. Now, I do have thoughts. I definitely do have thoughts. I will say right out the gate, I did enjoy the film. Like, I thought it was a good film. You should see the film. It's a nice film. There was a couple of things that that didn't quite sit with me well, but we'll go over that in a minute. So anyway, so just to just to get right into it, we're gonna spoil this. The spoilers out the ass, like as we do. But I definitely give this this particular movie a yay. And like I said, so let's get into it and talk about the movie. So it starts, I mean, I assumed it started 2 years after the previous movie, you know, because of the age differences, because these kids are growing like weeds. But we find the Shazam family, the Asian kid who was like 3 feet tall in the first film, he's like 7'10". You know, Mary actually still looks exactly the same. And they allowed her, and because she's supposed to be a college student now, like she's out of high school, she's over 18. They've put her in a situation where I don't know if it's because she's over 18 or because she's an adult. I believe she's playing her own Shazam now. It's not like when Mary transforms, she turns into a different person. She's the same person, both in and out of costume, and I think that's because of the age thing. But they said that they did the same thing with Billy. The fat kid, he's still gay, and when he announced it, nobody cared. Darla is still Darla. Darla's still the best member of the entire team. And you know, then the other kid, I forgot the you know, the kid with the crutches, forgot his name. But you know, so he's still there. He's taller now, like his hair is a little bit more crazy, whatever. So now the entire family, like they're there, and the mom, is that the same mom from you know, from the first movie? Because if that is the same mom from the first Shazam movie, I think that the reason why it felt like a different person is because maybe they let her speak more. But the whole time she was talking, I don't know, I kind of want to. I feel like if that was the same actress, they tried to like make her like low-key sexier for some reason, like the way she was acting and talking. I don't know, there was just something about the mom that I thought was crazy. But anyway, so the kids are all there, like the family's there, you know, everybody's doing their thing. But Billy, he's having, you know, some reserve issues, some reserved emotions. He's having a counseling session as Shazam with Principal Lowry from Black Lightning, because he was saying that now that, you know, everybody's getting older and this time the third, people, like he said that, because the thing is, Billy didn't want to be a family in the first movie, but now he's like all in on the family thing. But now it's his family that they're actually trying to, like, you know, venture out and do their own thing. Like everybody, like, you know, like his, like the kid with the crutches, like he going solo, like he trying to do his own thing. He ain't trying to be with the group. You know, Mary, she's trying to go off to college and she's trying to leave, but she can't really leave because she got to stick around and do the Shazam thing. Like the other kids are like, you know, doing these other things. So they're trying to, they're like, he's trying to bring everybody together, but for some reason, Billy does not possess the wisdom of Solomon or Solo Man, so he struggles as far as like trying to bring the kids together. Now there was something was happening on the bridge, and when the town was in trouble, when the town was in trouble, Billy called, you know, all the kids. He was like, hey, listen, we got to go out there and we got to save the city. So they all left the house, they dropped what they were doing, they go out, they all say Shazam, and they turn into the adult versions of themselves. Once they turn into the adult version, now mind you, we're still in like the first 5-10 minutes of the movie. Once they turn into the adult versions of themselves, we did not see the kids again till like the end of the film. and that's one of the things I'm going to bring up towards the end. So they go down, they rescue all the people from the bridge. Apparently they can all fly now, because I thought it was a situation when Billy shared the power with, you know, with all of his brothers and sisters. I thought that each one of them possessed one power, because when we saw the first Shazam movie and Billy gave them all the power, one person had super strength, one person was flying, one person had super speed, but now it's like all of them can do everything. So that was never explained either, but whatever. So they save people. As I said, Megan Good, her fine behind, like she still plays, out of all the Shazam, besides Shazam himself, besides Zachary Levi and the kid that plays Shazam, Megan Good does the best job of being, you know, the kid version as an adult. So love me some Megan Good. So like I said, they save everybody, but although they saved all the people from the bridge, you know, situation, the bridge ended up collapsing and it got put on the news. Philadelphia dubbed them the Philadelphia Fiascos instead of the Shazam family, which I thought was hilarious. The dad actually hired a roofer to take a look at their house, because he was like, something's wrong with our house because lightning keeps striking our house. And I thought that was funny too. So now like we're getting into it. Villains now. So the sisters of the gods, they show up. They steal the staff because in the first Shazam movie, the staff that Billy used, to turn his family into Shazams, because remember, they even showed the flashback of that after he gave them all the power, he took the staff and he broke the staff. We find out that the wizard, who's still alive, the wizard said that he used that staff to create a magical barrier around the world, which would prevent beings like gods from other realms to come over and make their way to Earth. When Billy broke the staff, then it ended up breaking that magical barrier, and then the sisters showed up. They found the staff because Billy didn't do it. Billy didn't take the staff with him and bring it back to the chamber. He ended up just like throwing it in the trash, and then some museum found it. The sisters found it. They took the staff, and then they went to wage all-out war. There was a third sister. She was the youngest of the three. She infiltrated the high school, and she became friendly with the Crutches kid, and she got to know him because she was trying to figure out, who Shazam was in the whole plot. So then what happens is they find out, so they end up using the Crutch kid to lure Shazam into the fold, and then when they lured him into the fold, we find out that once they put the staff, once they put the staff back together, the staff was able to take the power away from the kids. So because their whole point was, they were the daughters of, because like the letter Shazam spells out, like a different god, like Zeus, like Speed of Mercury, and her like Hades and all this other stuff. So they were the daughters of, they were the daughters of one of the gods. I forgot which, it might have been Zeus, but no, they were the daughters of one of the gods. And they were upset because the wizard used that magic staff to suck the power from their father and remove them from all I survey. So they wanted to get the power back, so that the power that rightfully belonged to them, that was stolen from them and given to this petulant child. So they said, so they bring all the kids in, they start taking all the kids' powers one by one by one by one until Shazam was the only one left. After that, they did this whole thing where the plan was, after they took the power from the Shazam kids, they were also looking for an apple that spawned from the Tree of Life. Because what they said was, when the wizard took the powers from their family, it basically like destroyed their world and turned their world into a wasteland. They wanted to use that apple from the Tree of Life to restore their world. There was a moment where the eldest of the sisters ended up getting captured, and she got into the Shazam chamber. She found the magical apple that could restore like her world. She took it back to her world. So now she's on her world. She has the staff, she has her sisters, and she has the power of the Shazam family, and they were going to use it to restore their world. Now here's where they went wrong, because to be honest with you, aside from taking the power of the Shazam family, they weren't really evil people. They legitimately weren't bad people towards the end. I'm like, yes, they were sarcastic as hell, but they really just wanted to restore their world and get back what they felt was rightfully theirs. But Lucy Liu character, she wanted revenge. And after they got the power, they got the staff, they got the apple, the oldest sister and the youngest sister, Anne, they were both just like, okay, let's just plant the apple, restore our planet. And then Lucy Liu was like, nah, bitch, like, I want blood. And then she took the staff, and then she killed her sister. Well, she killed the oldest sister, and then she jumped on a dragon and went to destroy Philadelphia because she wanted revenge on the people that took the power from their ancestors to begin with. And that's where they went wrong, because the funny thing about the villain, that's why I say like Fury of the Gods, it was really just the fury of Lucy Liu, because the other two actually really weren't bad people. So anyway, so now Lucy Liu, she on a dragon flying around trying to destroy the world. The Shazam family had no choice but to save their parents. So their parents found out who they were, and then they ended up joining the fold. There was a moment where the eldest sister put a bubble dome around Philadelphia, so they were trying to figure out how to crack the bubble dome and stop Lucy Liu. Shazam ended up talking to the eldest lady because they had he did have a conversation with the wizard, and then because at first the wizard was like, I chose wrong, Billy Batson, but then later on he was like, no, I chose right, because he said, you may not have the wisdom of Solomon, but he said, but you have the wisdom in your heart, so trust your heart. So he actually went to the eldest sister who was dying. She wasn't dead yet, but she was dying, and then he asked her to help him shrink the dome so he could stop Lucy Liu. So after she shrunk the dome, and the only people that was left in the dome was her, Shazam, and Lucy Liu's character, everybody else was outside the dome and they were safe. Shazam had the staff in his hand, and he used his power to fly into the dragon. He said the word Shazam and caused the lightning bolt that overloaded the staff. It overloaded the dragon. He blew up Lucy Liu. He killed Lucy Liu, and he saved Philadelphia. After that, for some reason, Billy died. And then, like, it wasn't even one of those things where it's like, oh, he's just knocked unconscious, we think he's dead. No, like, he legitimately died. Like, Billy died in this movie. They buried him and everything, which was crazy. So after they found his body, they buried Billy. They put him in the dirt. Like, they put him 6 feet in the dirt, but they still had the staff. And then they had asked the wizard, because again, at this point, nobody has their power except Billy, but Billy dead. And then they asked the wizard, they said that is there a way that we can save him? And then the wizard said, well, the staff could save him, but the problem is the staff lost all of its power because of the explosion that just happened. He said in order for the staff to regain its power, you need to find a god to reignite the spark, but because the eldest sister is dead, Lucy Lou's dead, and then the last remaining girl, Anne, doesn't have her power because she got her power taken at some point during the movie. He said there are no gods left to restore the staff. And then that's when we got the Wonder Woman cameo. And I swear to God, I wish they didn't spoil that in the trailer. I mean, I love me some DC and all, but one thing the Warner Brothers executives or whoever's in charge of doing this commercial advertisement stuff, like I get it, by showing Wonder Woman in the trailer, that'll get more eyes on the film and it'll get people to be like, hey, Wonder Woman's in this movie, so I'm gonna go see it now because I know, like, I understand that. But it's just like with the Batman v Superman trailer, when it's like the movie was supposed to be Batman versus Superman. They messed up by showing a trailer where Wonder Woman, Superman, and Batman were together in the same shot fighting Doomsday. I'm like, I didn't need to see Doomsday. And I didn't need to, as cool as the shot was to see the three of them together, I did not need to see the three of them together because you told me the movie was called Batman vs. Superman, and now I got Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman standing next to each other in a group. You know, even with Marvel did the same thing. Like, Marvel ain't off the hook either because in the Captain America Civil War fiasco, I ain't need to see no Spider-Man. Like, you ain't have to show me Spider-Man. Like, I understand showing Spider-Man saying, hey, everyone, like, that was going to get more eyes. Like, oh my God, Spider-Man, like, we can bring the kids to see this. But I'm like, I need to see that because now when it happened in the movie, I wasn't as excited as I would have been. You know, the Henry Cavill popping up at the end of Black Adam, that was different because Henry Cavill legitimately said he's done with DC. He was like, yeah, I ain't doing this shit no more. I'm not Superman. He signed to do The Witcher and all this other stuff. Like, I thought he was legitimately done. So when he showed up in the Black Adam movie, I was like, oh shit. Like, I didn't see that coming because I legitimately thought he was gone. But but like I said, but here, they showed me Wonder Woman. They ruined it. It was still good to see Wonder Woman. Love me some Wonder Woman. She came out and, she said that, as her being the last remaining god, she restored the spark, to the staff. They used the staff to bring Billy back. Billy came back. He had a conversation with Wonder Woman as Zachary Levi, not as the kid. And then, the two of them had a little joke where he tried to get with her. He was trying to get with her the whole movie, to be honest with you. But then, it didn't work. And then Wonder Woman was just like, keep saving the world, kid. Didn't address any of the other kids. just addressed like Shazam. And then Wonder Woman took off. So it was nice to see Wonder Woman, but more on the Wonder Woman thing in a minute. And then, like I said, after that, then, the family came together. I guess Mary went off to college and they're still the Shazam family. That's how the movie ended. We got two post-credit scenes. The first post-credit scene, again, the girl who plays hardcore, I forget the pronunciation, how they say this woman's name, but the blonde girl in Peacemaker, she showed up in the Black Adam movie, and now her and the big guy with the glasses who dyes his hair, they showed up at the end of the post-credit scene in the Shazam movie, where they tried to recruit him for the Justice. They said, we want you to join the Justice, and he was like, I'm in. He's like, I want to be a part of it. And then she was like, the Justice Society, and he was like, what the hell is the Justice Society? He said, I want to be on whatever team that Wonder Woman is on. So they're acknowledging the fact that, yes, a new version of the Justice Society and the Justice League both exist at the same time. So there has to be, you would think there would be a Justice Society versus Justice League film at some point. He already agreed to join the Justice Society, but then he was like, no, because Wonder Woman wasn't in that group. And then after that, the two of them walked away and they left. I don't think we're going to get a Shazam cameo in the Peacemaker film, but we did get Aquaman in the Flash, so maybe this has some. It's like I'm unsure whether this was just like, was this meant to be just like a cool, funny cameo, or is it actually going to have something to do with the Peacemaker series that's eventually coming out? And then in the final post-credit scene, we got Mr. Mind, the worm from the first film, came back, and apparently he left to go, hatch his evil plan, and it took him 2 years to come back and tell the wizard guy about the plan. And then he was like, why did it take 2 years for you to come back? And he was like, dude, because I'm a worm and it takes me a long time to get to certain places. It's a shame because I actually wanted to see what he would have done had Mr. Mind actually like been a thing. But I said it was more so just planted there just to be like a fun little cameo. If something comes of that, I'll be surprised, but I ain't paying attention to that long term. But that was how the movie ended. And thank you for tuning in. It was an enjoyable film. The last two movies that we got superhero wise was Ant-Man and the Wasp, and then we got Shazam Fury of the Gods. I enjoyed both films the same way. If I had to choose between the two, I would, I like Shazam Fury of the Gods a little better. The way I feel about both of them is pretty much the same, and let me explain. So, one of the things that bothered me about about the movie particularly, the lack of children. And it's supposed to be, because the thing about it is, it's supposed to be a story about the orphan kids. It's supposed to be a story about the Shazam kids. As much as I love seeing Megan Good, but we got way too much of the adults and not enough of the children. And the problem, and here's where that becomes a problem. They were doing storylines for the children, but the storylines that the kids were involved in were being played by the adults. Like the scene in the movie where Shazam and he brought everybody in to have like a family meeting. And they were in the family meeting and they were talking and he was trying to get everybody to be like, hey, look, guys, you know, this is what we did wrong. This is what we could do better next time, blah, blah, blah. Those scenes would have been better had the kids actually done those scenes. If you're going to do the comedy thing where you have like childish comedy, childish jokes and things of that nature, it's more effective when the actual kids are having those conversations and having those moments because you can believe it. You can believe that it's funny because they're children. When the adults do it, it comes across as like a little awkward because these are now adults acting like children. But it's fine. Like the adults acting like children is acceptable. And it's funny and it makes sense when they're actually having a battle. When they're in the midst of fighting people, when they're at war, when they're battling demons, monsters, villains, etc., and the adults are making like little children-like comments and children jokes and being goofy, that's fine. That makes perfect sense. But when they're not fighting and they're just regularly sitting in a room talking about how, hey, I'm going to college and I can't be here too much longer, or like, hey, you know, next time don't shoot your laser beams at the thing because you could snap somebody's neck. Like when they have those conversations, I would have preferred to have seen the children have those conversations because it would have made more sense. The movie focused way too much on the adults doing the job of the kids, and we didn't actually see the kids until the very end of the film, so I felt like the kids got shortchanged in the whole matter. And then the other thing about the film, and again, this was the same thing, the same issue that I had with Ant-Man and the Wasp, the film was enjoyable, but I felt like the film could have went higher. I felt like it could have reached a different level. It was almost like the film got to level 7, level 8-ish, but it stayed at the bottom of level 8. And it could have either went, and like the highest that they went to, like, instead of giving us like a solid 10, they went for a high 8. While I was watching the movie, while I was enjoying the movie, there was a part of me that always felt like there was an extra gear this film could have gone in. I was just like, you know, you're bringing me like right there, and I just need you to give me a little bit more, and you didn't give me a little bit more. It's like, I enjoyed it, but I was like, damn, y'all could have pushed it a little, like a little bit more, you know, like more fight scenes, because with the exception, the only fight scenes we really got was the bridge scene and then the very end of the film. Like there was a lot of talking in the middle, there was a lot of conversation in the middle, and a lot of that conversation took place with the adults and not the kids. So it's like, that's what I'm saying. So it's like, if I see superheroes in costume, I want to see them doing superhero stuff. I don't want to see them talking, you know, throughout the whole film. But it was still a good film. It was just very adult heavy. And, you know, like I said, there was another gear that the movie could have gone in. But like I said, but overall, I do give it a solid 8. You know, like I said, you know, Ant-Man and the Wasp, you know, like I gave it an 8, you know, like, you know, it was like Ant-Man and the Wasp was like a low 8. Shazam Fury of the Gods was like a middle 8, you know, so, but again, I still enjoyed both, and I look forward to seeing where these characters go, because, I mean, I say that, but we all know that the DCU as we know it, you know, the Zack Snyder version is coming to a close, and it sucks because in the last few DC films now, we're starting to get cameos from other characters from other DC projects, so it's like, we're seeing all these characters come together now, and then it's like, now James Gunn's gonna, like, blow the whole thing up and run the whole thing. But share your questions, comments, and or concerns down below. Let me just what about Shazam Fury of the Gods? Let me know in the comment section below. Hit me up on Twitter, hit me up on Instagram, like and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you have not already, because we got other things coming up in the channel, because Superman and Lois is back for all you DC TV people. The Flash is still going strong, and we're going to keep reviewing all this stuff as we wait for Titans and Doom Patrol. So until next time, everybody, for some more DC action, because we love that DC content. Take care, and until the next time when the world needs saving, we're going to end it on a Shazam!